It's the 6th of August, and this is your News Bite brought to you by eNCA.com. I'm Marcelle Gordon, and in your news today, the Madlanga Commission recommends criminal investigations in its second interim report. Chandler Clos loses his home in a fire, but is crowdfunding to help his neighbours. And FIFA President Gianni Infantino says sorry. President Cyril Ramaphosa has received the second Madlanga Commission interim report. It recommends disciplinary action and criminal investigations into several people, including Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, Witness G, and Sergeant Fannie Nkosi. Political fixer Mogotsi has also been flagged for further action. Now, the presidency says these matters will now be handed over to, wait for it, an SAPS Special Investigations Task Team. The Commission's final report is expected to be submitted in November. It's another important moment that allows us to take a pause and ask people whether they're optimistic about the work being done by the Madlanga Commission. eNCA chatted to a few people on the streets of Durban.
With the Madlanga Commission, I think it's really making a huge impact in reducing crime and helping us to see that those who are up there, who thinks they are untouchable, they're really sorting the country.
You know, it's quite scary to see the number of people that are being implicated in the accusations that are being made. But I also think, you know, their willingness to continue with people that aren't showing up gives us a really good insight into there are good people in the country and they do really want to clear things up for us.
We didn't trust the police and the judiciary and everybody, but now as they are being exposed, I think we looking forward to the end of the commission and what's going to come out.
For me, it certainly filled me with dread because I'm just concerned about what is the outcome going to be and the amount of revenue that has gone into this whole Madlanga Commission.
Yeah, I think Madlanga Commission is giving South Africans hope because there's been many commissions, but there was nothing that has been done. But thus far, we have seen arrest some people. We have seen some people being suspended from their position because of their misconduct.
Back at the Commission today, the Operations of Anti-Corruption Unit IDAC remains in the spotlight. Its head of investigations and operations, Matthews Sesoko, has been testifying on the conduct of former head Andrea Johnson, with particular focus on an operations manual signed by both of them.
And then just on the application of the manual, so to the extent that Advocate Johnson testified that the manual was just a draft, she would have been misleading this commission. Well, at its lightest, she would have lied to this commission.
Yeah. I don't understand why she said that. The manual was signed by myself and her, and then at her instruction, it was distributed to all IDAC staff.
Just remind us for purposes of the record, we've seen it, but for the record, when did she and you sign it?
I have a date somewhere. I can't remember the paragraph now. But I do indicate that in my affidavit. I think it was October 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
Meanwhile, Drushantha Ramsamy has made waves with her feisty submissions at the Commission so far. But the IDAC prosecutor became emotional on Wednesday when presenting evidence that Johnson had not been truthful in a testimony regarding the appointment of Crime Intelligence Technical Support Head Dineo Mokwele. Johnson previously told the Commission that she relied on her team's investigative report, which suggested that Mokwele's appointment was irregular.
Advocate Johnson testified before this commission. She produced a Section 28(1) authorization signed and dated 30 May 2025 in the Mokwele matter, as well as a Section 28(1) application purported from me to her dated 30 May 2025. I did not prepare this application, and the authorization could not have been signed and approved by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May 2025. As these documents suggest, I say so for the following reasons. During the meeting...
Sorry, before you say that, so what you're saying is that the document that Advocate Johnson produced that she indicated was the authorization for the 28-1 investigation into the Mokwele matter, and that was preceded by an application drafted by you, sent to her, in order for her to authorize the investigation on 30 May 2025. You say you did not prepare that document.
Correct.
Okay. And you say that not only did you not prepare it, but that authorization couldn't have been, that investigation couldn't have been authorized by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May 2025.
Correct.
Okay, and then you tell us why you say so at 32.
During the meeting on the 27th of May 2025.
Take your time.
Advocate Johnson instructed me to prepare one umbrella Section 28(1) for all crime intelligence matters. May I please have a moment?
Stigma and misconceptions are still a massive barrier for women struggling with substance abuse. A new study by Stellenbosch University shows that while this battle requires more than just treatment, data tells us that fewer women are accessing the treatment that is available as compared to men. And in the Western Cape, there are concerns over high rates of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder linked to alcohol use during pregnancy. Let's listen to Dr. Danishka Jacobs from the university's Department of Social Work.
I think that where we're going wrong, it's not just a problem in the substance abuse sector. We don't have enough community awareness about what is substance abuse. Is it a male-only problem? Can it impact women? Is it only alcohol? Is it other substances? There are still so many misconceptions about what this involves. So we need to be more active in our local communities. They need to see us there. In terms of treatment, a lot of women don't reach a rehab first. Their first point of call is going to a clinic, usually when their health is declining or they start to notice that things are falling apart in their social lives. And at these clinics, this is where integrated care comes back into the conversation. We need to have strong links between our clinics, between our child protection services, between our homeless shelters and substance abuse services. And we all need to be speaking the same language.
Clos says a GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support victims of the Dorchester apartment building fire in Sea Point, where he has lived for the last 10 years. The Olympic swimming champion found out about the fire at his building soon after making world headlines, breaking records at the Commonwealth Games. Clos' first reaction was to pay tribute to his 93-year-old neighbour, who had died after trying to rescue his pet dog. The star swimmer says he lost 90% of his own belongings, including some of his medals.
It's not just the material things that I've lost, it's the sentimental values that I've acquired over the last years. I've been there for 10 years. My uncle did all the interior design. We designed the property to like exactly how me and my brother wanted it at the time. So it's a very special, place for me. Obviously lost all my trophies and a lot of my medals. A lot of things that can't necessarily be replaced, obviously all my clothes and everything, but just the memories and the fact that I was there for so long, and but not only myself, I don't want to just be speaking about myself here. Yeah. My neighbors also lost a hell of a lot, people in my building, it's not just about me. That's why we started a GoFundMe page with the Shadrack Foundation to hopefully raise some money for the neighbors and people in Dorchester. All the money will go towards them. So we're very, very hopefully that, we can help make a difference.
Old Mutual Investment Group says global markets are in the middle of an artificial intelligence reckoning. The company's been analyzing the swings in tech stocks. Technology companies are spending billions on AI projects, but there are serious concerns about overspending. Just last week, the tech-heavy NASDAQ in the US fell nearly 10%, only to see a rally once more. But where's South Africa and the continent currently positioned in the so-called AI revolution? Let's listen to John Orford from the Old Mutual Investment Group.
Most of the applications that are being developed in the AI space will become available to, or already available to both consumers and businesses here. So I would expect those businesses to be looking at how they can deploy AI in improving their businesses. So, I guess the verdict is out somewhat. I would say on NSFAS and Process, through their investment in Tencent, do have exposure to a leading edge business in China, which hasn't really participated in some of the the big run up that we've seen in other parts of the space. So to us that actually looks quite reasonable, like quite a reasonable entry point. But where Africa ends up in AI depends a lot on how companies are able to deploy the AI tools to benefit their businesses and their consumers.
Jordan hosted foreign ministers from Arab and Muslim majority nations this week, seeking a unified stance on Jerusalem as concerns grow over right-wing Israeli actions around the city's important holy sites. Pakistan's foreign minister joined his counterparts, with Islamabad warning that the Israeli incursions threaten Jerusalem's status and risk fueling a broader regional crisis. The meeting came at a crucial time as Pakistan and Qatar continued diplomatic efforts to develop a framework for reopening the important Strait of Hormuz. eNCA's Hira Mustafa reports from Islamabad.
The top diplomats from Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Indonesia and other Arab and Muslim countries gathered in Jordan for emergency talks aimed at forging a unified response to rising tensions around Jerusalem's holy sites. Jordan, the custodian of the Muslim and Christian holy sites in Jerusalem, convened the meeting after warning of what it describes as an escalating pattern of government-backed incursions by Israeli religious extremists into the compound housing the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Amman says the actions threaten the decades-old status quo governing the site, a concern shared by Pakistan and other Muslim-majority countries, which have repeatedly warned against any unilateral change to Jerusalem's religious and historical character. Analysts say the timing is particularly sensitive with Israel's upcoming elections, raising fears that tensions could intensify. They warn that previous disputes over the holy sites have triggered wider violence, and any further challenge to their status could once again inflame the region. Jordan is seen as particularly vulnerable to any escalation in the occupied West Bank, while Pakistan and other countries attending the talks say preserving the status of Jerusalem's holy sites is essential to preventing a broader regional crisis.
In other news we're keeping an eye on, NSFAS has opened a case of theft against a former board member for allegedly withholding 10 laptops meant for under-resourced schools in the Eastern Cape. The laptops were part of a donation drive in March of 2026, and 30 of those were allocated to 6 high schools for communal student use. Employees reported the matter to NSFAS. And the state insists the case against suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi and his 4 co-accused is a Schedule 6 offence. They are believed to be involved in the 2022 murder of Brakpan resident Emmanuel Mbenze. The state says it will oppose bail for all 5 accused. On to the world of sports now, and FIFA President Gianni Infantino has said "Askis" for what he called errors he made in a controversial plan, some may say scheme, to sell off World Cup commercial rights. There was an emergency meeting of FIFA's leadership in Morocco on Wednesday, just days after Infantino was forced to abort his big money plans. The meeting ended with Infantino receiving full support from his senior directors. But now the question is, where does this leave his quest to be re-elected next year? Elsewhere in football, Arsenal have completed the second signing of the new season. The Gunners agreed to a £75 million fee, or 1.6 billion rand to you and me, for Newcastle United captain Bruno Guimaraes. The Brazil international has been given permission to travel for a medical. And the long-awaited greatest rivalry tour is finally upon us, with the All Blacks opening their account against the Stormers on Friday. eNCA's Justin Ford takes a look at the tour that includes a blockbuster 4 tests against the Springboks. You also heard from the AB's Bowden Barrett and Cortez Ratima.
It will be a reunion of sorts. New Zealand Rugby has missed playing South African teams since the 2020 Super Rugby exit. The Greatest Rivalry Tour is a chance to renew one of the sport's fiercest contests. It's also a treat for Southern Hemisphere fans. Whether it's taking on the Springboks or battling the country's franchises, few destinations offer New Zealand rugby the same intensity, atmosphere and contest.
Respectfully prepared accordingly around what we're up against and who we're up against, and obviously the team's just been named, so we'll continue to work on specifically the individuals that have been selected. But I can recall playing at Newlands. It's still in the top 3 stadiums for me. Playing against Schaltberger and De Villiers, some great names as a Hurricane at the time. So it's just great to be back in Cape Town. We really feel the love and the support here.
Excitement is building as the countdown gathers momentum.
Yeah, the energy's been good. The reception from Cape Town has been awesome. We've definitely felt the fans here. It's been unreal.
Friday's clash against the Stormers kicks off at 7 p.m.
And that's how we wrap today's News Bite. For developments in these and more, keep an eye on eNCA.com and DSTV channel 403.